Yeah, I know what you're thinking. You can get a job in the Middle East simply by trying or by magic, through others, or by a fluke. Remember that competition is everywhere. Some here, some there, but bam! Loy Macedo is the best.
See, yesterday I had a client. Anyway, I've taken permission from my client to share this. This client of mine is like, we have a long-term coaching relationship, so she pays me a retainer. Okay, she is a incredibly beautiful woman. Okay, I'll tell you, she's so hot that if you look at her, I can assure you this much, you will look at her at least like, wow, she's that beautiful. Even without makeup, she is lovely. She's a beautiful lady. She doesn't have a sugar daddy. She doesn't sleep around. She is not promiscuous. She's educated. She's smart. She's intelligent. However, you know, like, she's in shape. However, she has certain quirks of personality traits, because of which she is single. Okay, she is in her late, mid-40s. Okay, you could say mid-40s. So now she has her quirks. Okay, like I told you. Now the one thing about her is, because she is single, she is kind of lonely sometimes. Like any normal human being, you know, she wants to have a companion. She wants to have sex. She wants to have a friend. But because of her career path, because of her career, her to-do list and all that, she just doesn't allocate time. And she finds most men salivating just to have sex and acting obnoxious. And maybe because of her work schedule, she can't travel and meet too many men. But if she has dated any men, she has dated the creme de la creme. She has dated, I'm not even exaggerating, she has dated like celebrities. Okay, if I were to tell you a name, you'll be like, fuck, no way. Those kind of men. Okay, so, you know, and she uses this term alpha male always. She doesn't want any, you know, normal guy. She always wants, and you'll be surprised to know she is not a Westerner. Okay, so now, hot, successful, beautiful woman, great career, good money, only thing, single. Now I'll tell you where the problem is. The problem is, whenever she talks to me, she always asks me a question which is biased towards her belief system. Example, I'll give you an example. Like, she'll ask me, Loy, why is it that married people are never happy? Okay, let me repeat the question. Why is it married people are never happy? So you see, by default, the question automatically assumes married people are not happy. So now, let's agree on that statement and say why. So you see how biased the question is. Instead of asking, between married and single, who is happier? Her question is, by default, she believes married people are not happy. And why? Because she's single. Like, imagine, what if she asked, Loy, why are single people not happy? If that was the question, by default, we can assume that she being single, she's not happy. Because if she was happy, she wouldn't say, why single people are not happy? Now, what is the problem in these kind of questions? The problem in these kind of questions is, by default, we ask a question that is biased towards our belief. And then we only search for those answers that fit into our belief system. Like, for example, it's called the table and legs method. It's like you have the top of the table, but you don't have legs. Okay, legs to make it stand. So when you search for reasons to support that table, 1 leg, 2, 3, 4, the more legs you have, the stronger the table becomes, the more stable the table becomes. So if you were to ask, let's say, for example, a person who believes in Islam, who believes in Allah or who believes in Dr. Zakir Naik, he will search for all the reasons why Dr. Zakir Naik or Islam is true. Like he will Google search on YouTube, Dr. Zakir Naik, he's not a doctor anyway, he's a jackass. Zakir Naik destroys atheists. Then Zakir Naik converts this Christian. Or atheist loses argument to Muslim. Or a Muslim schools non-believer. So you'll tend to search for such videos that reinforce your belief system. And then obviously you'll even read articles like 10 reasons why Quran is infallible. 10 scientific discoveries made in the Quran before science discovered it. See, I'm just giving you an example of Islam because Islam, you know, people who follow Islam, Muslims are very hardcore. You can take the same example for Christians. You can take the same example for Hindus. For that matter, I know you'll say even atheists tend to have the same, what do you call that, mindset. They will search only for why atheism is true. However, in all these religions or non-religions, there is a subset of people who are open-minded to both the sides. Like for example me, I'm willing to listen to you if you tell me God is true. Show me the evidence. If you tell me, let's say Allah, Jesus, whichever God is true, fine. Evidence. I want to meet. If you can't meet, you can't show any evidence. Then obviously the question comes, okay Loy, then prove God does not exist. See, this is the problem with the question, how you phrase the question. Prove something does not exist. How do you prove something does not exist? How do you prove unicorns does not exist? How do you prove Superman does not exist? How do you prove air is not having, you know, small particles which are spiky? How do you prove it? I know you can keep going on crazy questions, but to simplify the topic which I was talking to you about, be careful of the questions that you ask. Don't try to convince yourself. Don't try to just feel happy by closing one possibility and only accepting yours. See, I was a Bible thumping preacher. I was ready and I wanted to die for God. I used to literally tell people about Jesus. Take the Bible, hold it sometimes, read it, pray for it, tell God, I want to die. I used to literally pray every single day. But one fine day I started asking questions. Why only Christians believe Christian is true? Why Muslims don't believe Christianity is true? Or Hindus believe Christianity is true? Why Christians don't believe Hindu gods are true? If I was born in a Muslim family, I'd have believed Islam is true. So I started asking all these crazy questions. How can a priest forgive your sins? Like, what magic, like, bless you. Why doesn't the Pope arrest all the pedophile priests? So when I was to ask these questions, two people, they didn't like it. Because I was asking questions which are against their belief system. And this messed up a lot of people's comfort zone. So what I'm trying to tell you is, don't ask a question or statement, or don't even search for something that will reinforce your belief. Rather, have an open mind to be ready to be proven that you're wrong. But don't go with the, oh, prove me wrong, I challenge you. No, then that's fuck all. Have an open mind to know the possibility that yes, you are wrong. Like in this case, how can you assume all married people are miserable? Why? Single people are happy-go-lucky and the happiest in the world? All married people are miserable? What nonsense. If you're single and you're sick, who's there to take care of you? You have no money, who's there to take care of you? Huh? You're single. The amount of mistakes that you can make in terms of emotions, feelings, decisions. Where are you grounded? How many single people are grounded? Very few. See, today, me, I'll just give my example. When I was single, I didn't give a fuck. I was living on credit cards and loans and spending way beyond my means. Today, now that I have a wife and a kid, and I am the only one who's earning, I can't fuck around. I'm very focused. Every day, savings, planning. I don't even want to open a fucking game and play in a few minutes. I don't even talk to anyone if it is a waste of time, which would have never happened if I was single. Impossible. So now I can be biased and say that being married is the best thing, but then I know that is not reality, because there are so many married people who are miserable. They smoke, they drink, they abuse. So always keep in mind, no side is completely right, no side is completely wrong, but there are certain things which are infallible. So don't mix them along with this other two criteria. Always have an open mind. Ask questions that might prove that you're wrong, and be open to the fact that maybe you're just trying to justify your existence or your reason to be happy. And if that is the case, there's nothing wrong. Accept first your mistake and start learning how to be better, how to improve. And that will be the process of self-realization, personal growth, and you'll become a better human being. Oh, just one last thing. See, before I conclude, I just want to tell you the reason why people don't ask painful questions, like in this one, why are married people not happy, is because by default, if you find the answer that married people are happy, and then you will be like, oh, I'm not happy, then it becomes obvious there's something wrong with you. You have to look internally. There's something seriously wrong with you. You have flaws, you have areas to improve, you have to change. Not everyone is wrong, you are wrong. And that, to some people, they can't take it. That hurts their pride, that hurts their ego, that hurts their feelings. Because we all are sensitive creatures. We have enough and more shit outside. We're trying to struggle and fight the world. The last thing we need to hear is, fuck, you're a piece of shit. So that is also one of the reasons why people don't do this. So I just thought I'll bring that up and tell you. But remember, the process of growth is realization, is understanding that you're bad, you have flaws, and it's not necessary to have to change it. You can continue being an asshole like me. When I found out I was an asshole through my coaching process, I was like, fuck, I'm an asshole. Because I always thought I was a nice guy. I always thought I was handsome. I always thought I was loved by everyone, and I wanted to be accepted. But the day I realized I'm an asshole and I'm not good and nobody likes me, and like, fuck, now what? So one is being aware. Then the second one is knowing how to use this realization to your benefit and growth. And that is where actual growth takes place and true happiness can be found. So this is what I wanted to share with you guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What I'm saying, does it make sense? Can you relate to it? Love to hear from you. Let me sign off. Take care.
Yeah, I know what you're thinking. You can get a job in the Middle East simply by trying or by magic, through others or by fluke. Remember that competition is everywhere. Some here, some there, but bam! Loy Macedo is the best.